I have one current event topic that I'd like to.
Sure.
Like I was thinking, if I could pick one, what would it be? And then talk to you about. And it's this idea that President Trump talking about these different territories that he wants to see come under the United States. And, he is a antagonist and one of the best at it. He's a troll. And he's hilarious. I personally love his personality.
Yeah.
However, I don't think he says anything that people think he just said stuff out. I don't think he says anything that he hasn't thought through. And even if it's funny, there's a bit of seriousness behind it.
Yeah.
And so the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, telling Trudeau, if you can't pay the bill, you're going to be the 51st state. Maybe I'll let you be the governor.
Yeah.
Greenland and in the Panama Canal. These are areas that he's joked about, but I believe he's also very serious about. And now it's transitioned to where he's saying, yeah, these things are things I'm actually looking at. We had Canada, Greenland, the Gulf of America. We control the Panama Canal. We are the largest. Now America's the largest landmass in the world. We would surpass Russia. We have a lot of strategic outreach and capability. A lot of prosperity, prosperous economic situation that we would create. So what do you think about that? Do you think some of it's joking? Do you think it's serious? Does he have a strategy behind that for national security?
I think he definitely has a strategy for sure, especially when the Gulf of America thing, because I think one of the things that happened right before the Biden administration kind of exited is they banned drilling in the Gulf of Mexico, I think. Something like that. I think there was an executive order. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but you can look into it, find out if there's something having to do. I think that was why. And so he's like, cool, well, we'll just rename it the Gulf of America and we'll start drilling right now.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get us energy independent again. He wants the American energy sector to expand so that way we don't have to buy energy from other people, because that's a real problem we have right now. If the power grid is so fragile for the United States. We gotta get energy independent. We need a surplus for energy. We need to drive the cost of gas and fuel down for people. We need to drive the cost of oil down. We need to drive the cost of electricity down because it's been skyrocketing. So I think that's one of the things that he for the Gulf of America for sure.
Yeah, because a lot of people just want to recap what you said.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people have pointed at him and said it's like American arrogance, but it's like, no, he's the art of war
so
strategically.
He can do something.
Yeah, it's like you said we can't drill in the Gulf of Mexico.
Cool.
Fine.
Semantics.
It's not the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to drill in the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
And we're going to be energy independent, and we're going to be the most prosperous nation in the world.
Because
the strongest nation in the world.
He's just navigating the bureaucracy. That's what he's doing. He's like, we're not playing games. We're full steam ahead. We're gonna take this. We're going to get America to a place where we are strong and we are energy independent and we're energy rich. He's like, I'm not playing these semantics with you. Is basically what it comes down to. He's like a very a hard-nosed businessman. He's like, we're gonna get this thing back on track. We're gonna get this thing moving in the right direction. We're gonna get energy independent. We're gonna get our military to a certain strength. I do think that the Panama Canal is a very strategic place to have possession of. I know do we have people down there? I don't know for sure.
I don't know if we have people down there. I know we built it.
Yeah,
right?
obviously,
we built it and paid for it.
I guess we were giving them money to allow them, or for them to allow us to bring our Navy vessels through there. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know a lot about that piece. I think that they were there was an agreement where hey, we'll provide you with certain funding or certain, I guess, aid, foreign aid, if you allow us to use this to traverse from the Pacific to the Atlantic and stuff like that. And if we just hey, look, now we're gonna go through for free, that would be a big monetary gain for us, and we'd have more influence in the region and be able to get from the Atlantic to the Pacific much quicker without having to deal with the bureaucracy of well, you need to give us this much money for it or whatever. Greenland. So here's the thing about Greenland and Canada, I guess you could say Greenland and Canada. There's a big concern with the fact that the Russians have built a bunch of icebreakers and are trying to potentially build military bases up around the North Pole area because it's a shorter distance to shoot missiles into America from up there. Kind of the same as having a missile base in Cuba, right? It's when you're up there, up in the North Pole area, the missile has to travel far less distance to get down south than it would if they had to shoot it all the way from Moscow or from Kamchatka or wherever it is, you know what I mean, or from Siberia. So there's a big military interest in that whole Arctic, North Pole region up there. Greenland is just a massive strategic location because it's projecting power out there towards Europe, like way out there. And if we could, even if they don't be, I don't think they're going to become a state. Because I've seen the governor, not the governor, but the leader of their whatever parliamentary system they have there. It might be the prime minister. I'm not sure. They have voiced their opinion that they want to be a free, independent nation from the Danish. Is that right? From Denmark.
Yeah.
So they want to be an independent nation, and they have the freedom to become independent anytime they want, written into their constitution, I believe. So I think they're probably going to become independent. I don't think they're going to become a state,
but maybe U.S. territory. Like
they might be interested in that. I don't know. Which that would be fine, because it'd be like Puerto Rico, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and like we could develop a partnership where it would be financially lucrative to their economy and the locals that live there. However, I think it's like 15,000 or 25,000 people. It's not very many.
No.
And then maybe we build a base there. Maybe we set a base up there that's like a forward, a base that's like kind of projecting that American military power out there into the North Atlantic, right? That's a super strategic national security position. Canada, obviously, we already provide them so much money and aid, and our militaries work together all the time. We train together all the time. We're both like anytime anything enters the airspace, we're both like talking to each other about it. So if they became a territory too, I think they'd be cool. That I don't know if I don't think they would ever be on board with wanting to be a state, just because the culture is so different up there. Like it's very much more liberal than I think the rest of America is. Although I don't know. I mean, maybe that could happen. I know a lot of Canadians that are super into guns and hunting and fishing, and you know what I mean.
Freedom. They feel like they've completely lost their freedoms there. And,
so
I think individuals, like especially outside of Montreal, Quebec, and BC, like big cities. Outside of big cities, Canadians are like at heart like lumberjacks and
I mean, there's a lot more country up there than there is city for sure. You know,
I think there'd be some interest from the citizen base.
Sure. And I mean, it's just going to be like, I think it'd bring more prosperity to their nation if they were like somehow included with America, but I don't know for sure how that's going to work. I mean, obviously Mexico, if they tied in with us, then we could work more closely together. I know he's obviously just declared the cartels as a foreign terrorist organization.
That's my last question for you.
Yeah, and that just happened. I think the State Department has 30 days or something like that.
Yeah.
They also they finally designated the Houthis. I can't remember, on Sharia maybe. What's the actual name? Let me see. I just made a post about this like 2 days ago, if I can find it. Known as Ansar Allah. Yeah. So they have 30 days. The State Department has 30 days to redesignate them as a terrorist organization, foreign terrorist organization, which is interesting because President Trump had designated the Iranian-backed Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization in January of 2021. However, as soon as the Biden administration came in, they removed that designation. So now they're putting it back, because they've been launching missiles and drones and all kinds of stuff at our ships constantly all year and over to Israel all year. Yeah. And it's like, okay,
just practically they are a terrorist organization.
What they're doing is they're committing acts of terror. You know what I mean? So
as well as the Taliban and
Al Qaeda. Have you know Sarah Adams?
I do.
Yeah, I've been watching what she's been putting out too, man. Like all the stuff with like the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham folks in Syria that used to be called Nusra Front, which was an Al Qaeda affiliate. Yeah, you know, and they're like, oh no, we don't have anything to do with them anymore. It's like, are you sure? Sure about that? Yeah. You know, that's I'll tell you right now. So that's the only. I've never been deployed to combat. I've been in combat zone. Yeah, like I've been in Syria. I've been in Iraq. The only reason it's called a combat zone is because you're getting imminent danger pay and hazardous duty pay. I was never in any danger. Never been in combat. But when I was there, I had to learn about the AO. Most complicated AOR I've ever been in my life. There were so many actors, so many people in play.
And they're changing all the time.
And they change all the time, and they change sides all the time. And sometimes they're working for Daesh or ISIS. Sometimes they're working for the pro-regime forces. Sometimes they're working for the PKK. Sometimes they're working for the SDF. It's weird because we only back certain organizations that are like, hey, this is this is our official partner force. The Syrian Democratic Forces specifically is one of them. And like we don't affiliate with all these different affiliates of theirs because some of them are they're designated as FTOs as well. But now that the regime has been toppled and Hayat Tahrir al-Sham is kind of like the interim government in the meantime out in the west part of the country. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. My hope is that they can find a way to peacefully coexist with the SDF, because the Kurds have literally suffered for so long, and they've just been dealt the crappiest hand of cards all the time.
Yeah.
They deserve a little bit of help, a little bit of support,
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Brazilian family? I am so grateful for each of you who tune in every week to hear our episodes. We have such incredible guests and topics that I am passionate about, our team's passionate about, and we could not do it without you. So we're thankful for you. We love you. We appreciate you locking arms with us to be more informed, to become a more resilient community. And I want to invite you to become a tighter part of that community by joining us on Patreon. If you go to our show notes below, you can click the link and get dialed into our Patreon and get extra content weekly. You can join for $15 a month and get behind-the-scenes footage, get closer access to me. I have monthly Zooms that I'll be doing with some members of the community. And so we'd love to get more involved. Again, go below in the show notes and click the link and join today.